YouTube, we're going to be reacting to Aztecross's video, my honest thoughts on the Edge of Fate.
I need one other person to join me. Look, the people that join.
Aztecross is so handsome. Look at him, man.
About this.
He's got the luscious hair.
Edge of Fate, essentially, while we're doing this form, okay?
Clean lineup.
Because we've been meaning to talk about our thoughts.
Face is just perfect.
Narrative specifically.
I'm just
Kepler as a destination, and also just kind of round out the discussion on how the game feels right now in this. Okay. In this world,
I really want to know Aztecross's opinion on this because I think he gives like some of the best feedback in the Destiny community.
And builds have changed, and we of course got some new exotics and things like that. Somebody set up a 10-minute timer. How did you feel about Edge of Fate? Just flat out across the board. I'm just curious to know.
I'm having fun. I think the rework.
It's been over 24 hours since it came.
But the armor is nice.
What's our poll at right now?
Campaign is pretty fun too.
How do you feel about Edge of Fate?
Especially towards the second half.
Great, mid, shit, horrible. Okay, so most people are saying great at 45%, folled by. Let
me know in the comment section too what you guys are feeling.
And then 9% at all.
Like about Edge of Fate overall.
1% horrible. Okay, just curious. Just wanted to know what you guys, how y'all are feeling about it. Man, here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna be probably called a shill for saying this, but man, I gotta give credit where credit is due. And to be quite honest with you, I thought the narrative banked and the story was really good. And I was very skeptical.
I think they did a good job on the storytelling.
That I was like, I'm gonna like this character, and then I ended up liking him, and it's actually turned into one of my favorite characters. I hope that's the Saints too, but I really do like Lodi's character, how it also ties into Ikora. I won't lie to you and say that Ikora's voice.
I wish his name was Loki, but maybe I'm just on Mars for saying that. But for some reason, I look at that character, I'm like Loki, but it's Lodi. Kind of close. That's just a me thing, probably just a me thing.
As y'all know, there was the strike going on, and Ikora's VA was actually Savathun's VA. And so if you play the campaign, you'll notice immediately it's like Ikora does not sound like Ikora. Actually sounds like Savathun, and that's because it is Savathun's VA.
Oh, I did not know that.
With that being said, though, the narrative banked. Now, the problem areas that I'm seeing is that a lot of people felt like the campaign kind of dragged on a bit due to
maybe the first half,
the tutorial aspects of Matter
Second half was fun.
The cannon, Mattermorph, all that stuff. Like
when it picked up some speed.
The first half, the campaign was very focused around introductory stuff to the new characters and the new area and lore building. But outside of that, it was a lot of just like, hey, this is how you use Matter Ball. This is how you use the cannon, and then of course like Mattermorph. And here's the thing, they're destination abilities, not actually abilities you can use anywhere else outside of the game. So it's not like a subclass where you're like, yo, this cooks. I can't wait to bring it into whatever content, whether that be a raid, dungeon, or PvP to try it out. So the first half of the campaign, I completely understand why some people say it just drug on. The second half of the campaign was whenever it was like, all right, we've got the tutorial stuff out of the way. Now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the narrative. Okay. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you've played, because you'll be essentially the scene with Ikora. And I won't spoil any of that for you guys, but it was really, really good. And it opened things up. And I never really questioned about, like, I never questioned about what was the Guardian like before they became a Guardian. What was these, you've seen a little bit about Zavala and I guess like Crow and Aldrin, but like, you don't really think beyond, current history. So from that cutscene onward, the campaign really banged for me. The ending also really good, because essentially what ends up happening, and I guess this is kind of spoilery.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
It's a lot of setup for the 9, and I was really concerned that Bungie was going to mess this up. It kind of reminds me, y'all remember when Bungie gave us Curse of Osiris?
Yeah,
and we finally
we
heard about Osiris through Trials of Osiris, and then we finally get Osiris. And I guess it was all right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything crazy. And then, of course, Curse of Osiris just wasn't that great to begin with. I was kind of concerned that with the 9 being something Bungie's never expanded on, that it was going to be a miss and that we just weren't going to be that intrigued by it. I mean, it's kind of like the post-Avenger situation with what happens after Thanos. No one really cares about the Eternals. Maybe you do, but a lot of people did. I will say that the 9 their introductory was really, really good, and more specifically, their own mortality. And you'll know more about that when you play the campaign. But I thought it was really, the setup for that was really good. And then not only was the setup for that really good, you will walk away from the campaign with a clear goal in mind. You're like, all right, what is this saga going to be about? And it's about.
It definitely felt like we got more direction.
And so
with
that
the story
to me
and the lore.
Is really good versus campaign experience.
And people
like
enjoy
we've
that
had
a
in the
lot when it
past,
comes to the
was
Destiny
a bit
community.
ambiguous in its ending. It's like, all right, did we kill
You
the
got
bad
some
guy?
lore lovers out there.
Who even is the bad guy? And in this case, we don't necessarily have a clear, definitive bad guy. We just have people that are messing with the system and an objective that we must fulfill. And then also
Cinematics were top tier
Lodi's
too.
character and how he changed toward the end, I thought was really, really good. So again, I praised Kepler, or not Kepler, I've praised the narrative a ton. That's the thing that's really stood out to me the most in this entire expansion. But I completely understand why the first half of the campaign kind of drove some people away, because it's like, dude, I don't want to learn this tutorial on abilities that I can't even take outside of Kepler. The abilities themselves really aren't bad. I think they're pretty cool. I'm actually curious to know if we're going to get them in the raid at all. There is lots of different upgrades that we're going to be doing to them and currently doing to them right now, but normally they wouldn't have a role at all in the raid. But just lock them to the destination does seem kind of a waste. I think it's way better. A lot of people are making comparisons to Deep Side, but I think it's way better than Deep Side. As far as Kepler goes, the destination is there's nothing really that crazy about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's an easy destination to get lost in. And I would say in terms of just like pure sex appeal, you know what I mean? It's not the sexiest
it wasn't
destination
like
either.
the
A lot of
most
people are like, okay, it's Tangle
unique
Shore with
stuff.
a little more color to it, which I get. So I get why.
But I still
some
like
people
it.
are a little bored with it.
That's just
the
me.
Aeonians are, you're right. You know, you don't really.
I didn't mind it.
interact with
I know
them,
some
but
people
it's
might be like, oh,
via
this is
text
not
prompt and,
as aesthetically
not
popping as they
really
wanted it to
characters
be.
you interact with all
I thought
that
it was
much.
calm. It
Also,
was
the
cool.
text prompt is something that Bungie
You know?
seems to have changed across
It wasn't
the
over the
game.
top.
Almost have like an RPG or like almost
It
like
wasn't super
mobile-esque
saturated
element to it,
visually.
which might be off-putting to some people. But Kepler, I definitely wouldn't jump up and be like, yo, this destination is just balling. Nor would I jump up and say that about the sieve activity either. You know what I mean? I don't walk away from the sieve going, bruh, you know, this is it. Now, I don't know how much that's going to change over time, that activity itself, or even Kepler, if Kepler is going to change over time. I'm just saying, like, initially, just talking about the destination, it's not like, hey, it's a Dreaming City type destination or a Pale Heart destination. And a lot of it kind of runs it together. Now, I will say this, for what Bungie was trying to accomplish, it is a destination that you could get lost in multiple objectives on. You know, you pull up the objectives, you know, you go over here, you hit Kepler, you start in this one area, and you kind of get pulled all over the place, man. You may start off going, I'm going to do this.
That's always Destiny, like,
and then you'll be jumping from
areas like
objective
this,
to
though.
objective. And at this point, when we're on the power grind, that's pretty important. Interestingly enough, our power leveling right now consists of us doing the portal activity and doing pinnacle grind for this mission called Encore. And so we're not even actively doing Kepler objectives, because it's just more advantageous to do this, get our level up, and then go back and tackle
the grind right now is pretty tedious
for Kepler. And
how do you guys feel about that?
That sucks, because wouldn't you want to do the new content? I get that too.
Yeah.
Build wise and exotics, let me say these two exotics right now, this one is absolutely busted.
We love this. We love this scout rifle. Yes, we do.
Address it.
Yes, we do.
Sure. But it's really
we do.
good, and I also just enjoy using it.
Seriously, for a Destiny noob like me, like PvE wise, that scout rifle absolutely just it just fucks, man. Like it's just good. It made the campaign a lot more easier for me. I don't know about you guys. Just want to put that out there.
The game at this point, I just got this rocket assisted frame pulse rifle right here, which this roll just dropped. Chain reaction, reround rounds. That's pretty wild. I think the strongest point right now for this expansion is going to be, if you're a major build crafter, you want to farm your ass off and get high stat distributions and do more damage across the board, whether it's a weapon stat bonus or a super or your discipline or your melee, or I guess grenade is what it's called. That's a really strong point. I think build crafters are going to be eating really, really good this expansion. I think people that just like to also
this
test their builds, like this right here, guys,
100% agree with most of everything you're saying.
This shooting range area,
one of
the best things Bungie's ever given us. We played with it this morning. We were just testing around some weapons, and I don't think I'm ever going to go back to testing things the way I've tested things in the past.
Yeah, the firing range is a great
everything
addition.
Across the board is
I wish you've had this
in this shooting
years ago,
so
but
where I got to give props, shooting range
is fire.
Builds and the stat distribution changes
fresh
they've done,
and unique.
Also good, and the narrative is good. Weak points, destination abilities, people are just not that crazy about them.
I'm just not a big fan of the watermark,
a new subclass over destination.
Whatever it's called. I said watermark. Oh my god.
The destination itself, unless it alters and changes over time, it's not a huge selling point for people either. And the portal is something that's I'm getting used to, but we'll see how that plays out in the long run. Is it going to be a seasonal story? This whole year of contents from Edge of Fate is going to be laid out differently than we've ever had before. Because right around the corner, once we get through this batch of content plus this raid, then we're going to be ramping up going into Ash and Iron, which is returning back.
I'm looking forward to that, man.
Which is a
and that's in September, the big 2025.
Don't know what activities are going to be associated
I'm
with
super
that,
excited for that.
What the hell we're even going to be doing in the Plaguelands. And then right after that, we're going to be ramping up to go into
that's the one I'm looking forward to the most, is Renegades
themed expansion.
It's Star Wars
question
themed,
is how in the hell is Bungie, because yesterday's campaign was about a 6 to 7 hour long campaign.
It was a grind.
And it was chocked full of cutscenes and big lore bombs and all kinds of stuff, and it's stuff that really does take time to flesh out. I don't know how they're gonna follow up with something equivalent of that inside of Renegades.
I did like this new feel,
and if it doesn't follow up with that same level of quality in its narrative, where
I'm
else
curious to see how Star Wars theme
going to make up for that? You know, what else is it going to be bringing outside
Renegades
of
is going to bring to Destiny?
But we're getting lightsabers. Look,
I hope we get a lightsaber.
I like Star Wars.
I'm not a super
not gonna be
mega fan of Star Wars, but I will.
All I can say about Edge of Fate is
enjoy using a lightsaber.
I think it's getting heavily downvoted or shit on online.
Is that really the morale right now? Is it really underwhelming?
It obviously is not going to be bringing.
I've been having fun with it.
That final shape brought. Yeah, that's the end of a 10 years.
Granted, I'm a PvP man,
I wish it would have, but it's not.
I've been having fun with it.
Don't reflect what.
Yeah, the numbers definitely.
The quality of the expansion, in my opinion. I really like this story.
A lot lower than I expected, but
I think that the setup here.
It is what it is.
Well, however many years this is going to go, I'm excited to see how it plays out. The gameplay sucked, but the narrative was good. Like what? The video
narrative
game?
was good.
I'll say the gameplay sucked.
I wouldn't say the gameplay
I understand
sucked.
why people didn't like the destination abilities. At the end of the day, Destiny is a fantastic game to still play. I think the gameplay is very much still Destiny and very much still solid with an assortment of different builds that
Matter Spark got a bit overused,
beyond what we could before with the 200 stat distribution.
That's about it.
Look, man, if this ain't resonating with you, completely understand. You can always maybe check out Renegades at some point, and maybe
I think Renegades is gonna be fire.
Maybe the direction Destiny is going in is a direction that just doesn't appeal to you anymore. I will say this: the game is definitely going to demand a lot more grind, like getting to the point to even grind tier 4 and tier 5, and we're not even ready to have that conversation yet. I'm just talking about just the base campaign experience.
This is a grind right now, man.
Exotics and whatever else.
I kind of like it, but at the same time, I'm just like
necessary to get you to the point where you can
I don't know if I'm ready
tier
for this.
4 and tier 5. Man, brother, it's something else.
Tier 5 grind is gonna be crazy.
I've already seen it. I think Jay's assessment, his estimate of 90 hours to get to the point of grinding tier 5s sounds about right. I'm loving the grind. Well, it definitely means something. That's the other side of things. Like people are like, I don't want to do all that grinding. I get it. But for the people that do want to do the grinding and do actually do the grinding, it definitely means something. What their level is at means something. Quality of the gear, having tier 4s and tier 5s is going to mean something. And you'll have a flex for a 6-month time frame before you have to do it again in the next 6 months. I'm not re-downloading the game. Can happily say I'm done with Destiny. I definitely, I've got some people in here, and like 9 times out of 10, I would be like, yo, you guys are just trolling. But Clune, you've been around for a long time. You've played this game. So my question to you guys is this: was your mind already made up before yesterday?
I feel like
by before yesterday, I mean
it is late in the
dropped. That's the only thing I want to ask there.
That is a good question.
Time to get you off this game, Cross. Here's the crazy thing, guys. I like playing Destiny. That's the thing, man.
I like playing Destiny too as well.
I've said this in the past.
I love Destiny too. No troll.
PvE, I would get bored and I would have played something else. If I only played PvP, I would have definitely left. But because we play PvE and PvP,
look, I try to play a little bit of PvE, no gambit, but
everything, man. I don't know. I enjoy the gameplay.
I enjoy the game too.
I take multi-month breaks. I completely understand why this
multi-month breaks is pretty much just
it's not the sexiest thing to you. And look, Bungie has to acknowledge that the core and systematic changes that are happening here are really only things that either a veteran player would recognize, even a new player wouldn't recognize, but if a brand new player would recognize, hopefully the onboarding experience would be better from. Those things are not like sexy, major sexy things. But when I say sexy things, like top of the list, sex appeal for an expansion, new subclass every single time.
Dude, new subclass would be crazy.
If they would have put up a red subclass, would have killed, man.
A new subclass,
but there
I
has
think
been
the community
so
go bonkers
many
for a
hints
red
about the next
subclass.
subclass. I don't know if we're going to be working our way up to it after Renegades or what I don't know. The cadence here is a lot different because in the past we've had, year by year, but now that we're splitting things
up. Dude, like, I just want to like touch
year.
base on that. Like, a red subclass would actually go like insane for the community. Like, red's obviously not a color they've used before, and they've got all that hype from like a year or two ago. Like, it makes the most sense, Bungie, but just saying. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about the red subclass, but it would have been nice to have. At least for a future expansion.
I'm not sure.
No confirmation
I
on that
think
yet, though.
Stacy's not having a new super is a big L. Let me just say this though, guys. And look, I'm not giving, I guess I am giving Bungie some excuses here. All of this shit right here, from the shooting range to
shooting range is a fire.
Stat changes.
Stat changes are fire.
The portal to
I don't know about the portal.
different modifiers.
I'm not a big fan of the portal. You let me know about you guys.
For all of your various different difficulties here. I mean, like, this is not shit that you can just cook up with your B squad, is what I'm saying. And that's not even taking into account the people that Bungie laid off last year. So the point I'm trying to make is that this stuff took a hell of a lot of development, and you can tell that this was the focus for things. And in some ways, I think I'm okay with that, because you're trying to lay the foundation for what this next saga is going to be built upon. And that's the way
Aztecross definitely hit the nail.
If I had to compare things, I'm not comparing
hit it right there on the nail, man. Like, you're just setting up for future expansions.
Forsaken, even though I think narratively it's comparable. What I would compare it to, though, is Destiny 1 Vanilla and Destiny 2 Vanilla. And I think about those experiences and the foundations they
Destiny 1 Vanilla
and
stuff.
one of those experiences,
time, man.
the foundation was so bad, they had to spend the whole entire next year fixing it. And then they had to spend subsequent years after that fixing that. And that was D2 Vanilla going into Forsaken. This foundation right here is something that I feel like it's been tested thoroughly. We'll see what all changes occur over the next 6 months to a year. I think it's a solid footing for the next saga and stage of Destiny. Charging $40 for what we got. The majority of changes were free as an L. I love the changes that were made, but $40 for the content for what we got is ridiculous. Look. Hey man, you've seen there's been a record amount of downloads for Destiny over the past couple weeks or past week when Bungie made everything free. I really wish Bungie, like, if Bungie wants to do all this Eververse stuff and go crazy with Eververse stuff, go crazy, man. I wish that they would either pick one or the other, either make it a complete paid experience or make it free.
Because we don't have that.
And have a
but I agree with what he's saying.
Preferably that one, because you get more people into the game.
Yeah, like,
everybody's got their own version of what they think the
make everything free and try to make the money from Eververse.
Shouldn't be. All I can say is
perfect,
like it, man. Give it time.
Now that
probably
works.
catch it on a sale. And if you just want more Destiny, you can play the free stuff right now and do that. In the meantime, I'm going to be running around with my scout rifle that's absolutely insta-killing everything in the game. But don't worry, you can get this weapon too at rank 70 on a season pass. So good luck with the grind. Is the heavy crossbow in the game yet? I don't know where it is. Here's the thing.
I'm trying to get me the heavy crossbow.
I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to say one last thing. Destiny players go, where's my crossbow? I pay for it. Bitch. You pay for the opportunity to grind that crossbow or whatever fucking weapon it is. You don't give money and get the shit put in your hand.
Nah, he's right though.
You got to go grind for it. That's how it works. That's how it should work.
All right, man. Shout out to Mr. Aztecross coming in with another banger video. I think he just hit it right where it needs to like be heard. You know, this is a good expansion to a degree. It's definitely not like a Forsaken or Final Shape, but it gives us the footwork and the groundwork basically for future expansions, and I think he's 100% right. I think narrative, like, it popped off, and I gotta give credit where it's due. And I think Bungie is trying some new stuff, and I'm really looking forward to Renegades, and I think this is a good step one in order to get to that level of feedback and where we're going in the next Destiny direction, because it's definitely starting to feel like a little bit of a different atmosphere in game. I wouldn't say vibe, but you could definitely tell that they're trying to change direction, and I'm kind of in for it, and I like it. I'm excited, and I'm also a little bit nervous, but excited and optimistic mainly because they're trying new things, and hopefully they find something that they really enjoy and it sticks and the community loves it. And hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hey YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, or continue to watch the videos because they help. And yeah, shout out if you have a nice Gamer Subs cup like this. I just added that to make the outro look a little bit cooler, but thanks for watching.